Why has immigration suddenly become the loudest political issue in Western democracy? Because it's no longer just about who crosses a border. It's about who belongs. When people feel their jobs, culture, and way of life are changing faster than they can adapt, immigration becomes the most visible symbol of that anxiety. In the last 2 decades, many working and middle-class citizens across Europe and the United States have watched their towns lose industries, wages stagnate, and communities transform. Instead of blaming complex forces like automation or financial globalization, immigration offers a tangible explanation. It gives their unease a face, something human, something close to home. So even when migration numbers aren't historically high, the perception of cultural or demographic change becomes enough to trigger fear and resentment. But aren't conservatives just exploiting those fears for political gain? They are, but only partly. Conservatives didn't invent the anger. They recognized a vacuum and filled it. For years, liberal leaders promised that globalization and diversity would lift everyone up. Yet the reality for many was declining job security and widening inequality. When those same elites dismissed local concerns as xenophobia, they left a political opening. Conservatives stepped in with a simpler message. We'll protect what's yours. It's emotional, direct, and rooted in identity rather than economics. They reframed immigration from a policy challenge into a moral one, a battle between globalist elites and ordinary people defending their culture and borders. Why does this resonate so deeply in both Europe and the United States? Because both are societies in transition. Europe is aging, wrestling with its colonial past and struggling to integrate new communities. The US is undergoing rapid demographic change and reckoning with its own history of race and identity. In both contexts, immigration touches the same nerve, a fear that traditional majorities are becoming cultural minorities. Conservative movements have mastered the art of turning that anxiety into unity. They say, you're not bigoted, you're preserving your heritage. It transforms insecurity into pride and outrage into a cause. So does that mean the liberal globalist project has failed? Not entirely, but its glow has faded. The liberal order built after the Cold War promised a world of open markets, multiculturalism, and shared prosperity. It delivered growth, but not fairness. It celebrated diversity, but often ignored the need for social cohesion. What we're seeing now isn't the end of liberalism. It's its retreat. Many liberals have adjusted their tone, speaking tougher on border control, adopting language once reserved for conservatives, and acknowledging the need for integration. Liberalism is not dead. It's adapting to survive in a world less enchanted by openness. Could it be, though, that liberals themselves use immigration debates as a distraction? That's a harder truth to face, but yes. Often, immigration serves as political theater. It absorbs emotional energy that might otherwise be directed at systemic issues like inequality, housing, or taxation. Talking about migration is easier than confronting corporate power or the failures of economic policy. The right uses it to rally anger. The center-left uses it to appear responsive without challenging the deeper structure of globalization. In the end, immigration becomes a convenient battlefield where both sides can fight loudly while changing little. So what's really at stake? Trust. Immigration is a mirror reflecting a larger crisis, whether citizens believe their governments still represent them. When people feel unheard, they turn to populists. When migrants are scapegoated, societies fracture. Both outcomes erode democracy. The real challenge isn't closing borders. It's rebuilding confidence that the system can deliver fairness, belonging, and security in an interconnected world. Are we seeing the end of globalization then? Not the end, a recalibration. The era of borderless optimism is over. What's emerging is a more cautious, self-protective form of liberalism that stresses control, reciprocity, and national interest. The question now is whether liberal democracies can redefine openness in ways that feel safe and fair. If they can't, conservatives will keep owning the narrative. Because right now, they're the only ones making people feel that someone is defending what's theirs. We'd love to hear your perspective on this. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, Allah Hafiz.